Anyway, we finally arrived in this army barracks where we stood in a big hall, or kind of a dining hall place, or assembly hall. And after we were standing there, I was on the right, Taffy in the middle, and Charlie was on the left. And we, all of a sudden, the door opened directly in front of us. Taffy started falling, so we instantly grabbed him, stopped him falling on the ground. And the chap in the doorway says, "It's all right, Taffy. The war's over for you." And he disappeared. Of course, we couldn't talk to each other. And we didn't find out until we got into the actual camp, Luft 7 in Poland, what it was all about. And it turned out that in 1938, this chap was working with Taffy in South Wales. And he'd left there to go to Cambridge to improve himself. And I guess he went back to Germany. But from there we was put into a cell in Münster for 3 nights. 3 of us in one cell. And from there we had to go to WWII, the Interrogation Centre, which was a bit much at times, but anyway, we was in separate cells there for the first time, and it was quite a lonely spot then. But anyhow, as soon as we'd been warned at a briefing that not to take notice of any voices or anything we heard when we were in the cells. And I hadn't been in there 5 minutes before a Yankee voice come, I could hear. He said, "You a limey?" I didn't answer. He said, "Where'd you catch it?" I kept quiet, didn't answer at all. And apparently he said he had a gangrenous foot. But I didn't answer. I just sat on the old bench that was there. But eventually, after about a week, I was called for and was marched out from the cell along the corridor, down the flight of steps. He was outside into he was passing a parade ground. Then I had to go down some more steps in the building. And this had doors all the way along either side of the building. And the door was open in one, I was told to stand there, or indicated to stand there, where I stood for 45 minutes actually, with a pistol in front of me. There was two officers, I assume they were officers, of the German force, and one was asking questions, where we come from, what my trade was, and all the rest of it. Still just answered number, rank and name. And he kept fiddling with his pistol and could hear the little safety catch going on and off. And I got like that. I remember saying to myself, "Why don't you pull the trigger? Get me out of it," he said. "Nobody knows whether I'm alive or dead, so why don't you do it?" And after 45 minutes, he says, "I'll let you go back to your cell now, Sergeant Hooker," he says. You're too young to die yet." Went back. I remember sitting on that bench, wooden bench, collapsed out, really, I was. And anyhow, the following morning, I was caught again. I thought, oh no, not again. Yeah, this time went the other way. Went into an office. "Oh, sit down, Sergeant." "No, I'll prefer to stand." "Oh, have a cigarette." "No, I don't smoke." Although I could have done it at the time, and I did used to smoke a bit, but we was warned against it, not to smoke take a cigarette. but I could have given anything to have one. But anyhow, after a while he started asking questions again, and then he went on the phone. I remember this clearly. Went on the phone, and presently a chap come through a door and with a book, put it on the desk in front of the officer, and there he started turning these pages over. And every page he turned over, he mentioned a name of the RAF stations that I'd been at, right from the time I joined up in the Lord's Cricket Ground, back to where I was born. I was amazing. Whether it told on my face or not, I don't know. But once again, he said, "You see, Sergeant Hooker," he says, "we know all about you. So, what's the point in shooting you?" Still didn't say anything. Oh, he said, "By the way, Wing Commander Wilson is on our list. He'll be the next one. We'll get him. We knew he was supposed to lead the attack today," he said, "or when you attacked," he says. "But he was standing at the end of the runway when you took off, wasn't he? Saluting the aircraft." Well, it shook me, somewhat shocking that did, knowing that. And that is exactly what happened. Wing Commander Wilson's plane went US on the way round to take off. And he said, "So there we are," he says. "You go back to your cell," he says, "and in a few days' time, you'll be sent to the prison camp." Well, I went back to my cell and sat there on this old wooden bench, which was used to sleep on as well. And I couldn't take it in that he knew all about this, because my own crew didn't even know where I was born, apart from the fact that they knew I lived in Hartley, Whitney. But I was actually born in a little hamlet a few miles away from there, and he actually knew this. Anyhow, a couple of 3 days afterwards, we was called out again, and there's Charlie and Bonman were there, and Navigator and the Canadian Walk, they were there also. We hadn't been in touch with them at all. And there's several other men. Two chaps we started talking to, or Charlie and I did. A flight engineer, Sergeant Meade, and a Sergeant Beach from Kent. And we became very good pals once we got into the prison camp, which was in a place called Banker in Poland. Took several days, I believe, if I remember right, getting there. But once we was there, we was put into what we call dog kennels. There's garden sheds. And there were 7 in the one I was in. We was only in there a short while. Can't remember exact dates, but from there we was put into proper huts, and that was divided off into small rooms, and there was 8 of us in a room in 4 double bunks.
Could you tell me that story again, please, of your friend on the train who managed to get hold of the Luger?
Oh yeah, we was travelling from Münster to the interrogation centre, and with the 2 guards. There was only the 3 of us. We hadn't met up with the other 2 of our crew that survived. But Taffy, the bomber, Charlie, myself, was on the move. Charlie sat by the side of one of the guards. I sat next to him. Taffy was on the other side of the carriage, along with another guard. And we'd been travelling for quite a while. And they seemed to doze off. Of course, we didn't speak because, having been warned to be wary of such things, and in case something was said they picked up on. you know, saw Charlie, so I was looked sideways, saw Charlie with his hands down near the guard. And next thing I knew, he had his Luger in his hand. And he opened it up, just shook his head, and there's no bullets in there. And I was shaking, I don't mind admit it. I was absolutely shaking, because only a young kiddie I was. Charlie was about 11 years older. And eventually, he got it back in the holster. Just carried on, the train journey went on. Of course, we couldn't say anything to each other about it. And unfortunately, Charlie never mentioned a word about it afterwards. What his intentions were, if there had been bullets in there, whether, I don't know. But later on that journey, we were stopped at a station, and we were on the one line, and on the line to the left of us, a train pulled in, and there's all the German personnel covered in blood and bandages all over it. Undoubtedly one of their hospital trains. So one of the guards pulled the blind down in our carriage, and the door was locked, and they indicated to us that if they hadn't rolled the blind down, they would attack us, and they wouldn't be able to do anything about it. Well, we realised that, I did at the time, well, they had no bullets in the guns. But anyway, in the end, there was quite a noise on the platform, and in the end, it seemed to quieten down with the civilians there, and we was let out, and we had to run across the platform into, kind of the waiting room. We shoved into this room, the door slammed shut on us, the three of us. And I don't know how long we was in there, but quite a while. Then we heard the train start up. And we were then, the door was opened, he looked round the door, beckoned us forward, and one guard had gone out and opened the carriage door, and we was rushed in there. Door shut, and off the train went. But there's a few people still on the platform, but of course the train was on the move, they couldn't do anything about it. We were safe for a bit longer. Yeah, funny experience it was.